Is it okay to start, Stephen?
You're only a minute and a half late.
I think that clock's a minute late.
I'm going by the big official clock. Let's go. Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call to order the November 16th meeting of the Charlotte County Airport Authority. I'd like you to turn your cell phones off, if you might, or silence them. For those who would like to join us for our invocation, please stand. Now, I wrote this morning, so. Hello, God. We are calling to ask for your wisdom, guidance to bring us through these troubled times this world is going through. Help us restore calm and peace to the United States. Use the wisdom of this collective body to address our air transportation needs. Amen. Paul.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call. Kelly?
Good morning, everyone. Mr. Andrews?
Here.
Mrs. Oliver?
Here.
Mr. Hackett?
Here.
Mr. Hanzik?
Here.
Mr. Parrish?
Here.
Mrs. Coppola?
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, the chair would like to recognize Charlotte County Commissioner Stephen R. Deutsch in the back. Sitting next to him is the newly elected Vice Mayor of the City of Punta Gorda, Bill Dryberg, and the guy that really runs the city, Mr. Murray, City Manager. Thank you for coming.
Good morning.
Any citizens' input on any agenda item? Ask that you come forward, identify yourself. Seeing none. Additions or deletions to the agenda, Mr. Parrish?
No, sir. I think this one's long enough.
Okay. Employee recognition. And tell everybody who you are. So
Heather Straw, Finance Manager, and I have two employees that I'm super excited to talk about this morning. First of all, Nicola Delph. Nicola is our accounts receivables manager, and she is been here for 5 years. She's done an amazing job. She takes care of pretty much all of the income that comes into the airport, and I would like to congratulate her on her 5 years.
I will tell you, when Nicola calls you to ask you to pay your past due bills, she is so sweet.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nicola.
And next we have Tammy Harper. Tammy has also been here for 5 years, and she is our payables guru. She takes care of all the money going out of the airport and processes an incredible amount of invoices, and also does just an amazing job. And so congratulations on your 5 years. Both of these ladies I just could not live without. Do an amazing, amazing job. So thank you.
We have one
one
more.
more, I believe. Beth.
Good morning, Commissioners, Mr. Parrish. Beth Pardell, Manager of Terminal Operations and Parking. I'm privileged to be presenting a 5-year award to Stephen Parrish. Started his aviation career in Germany, working over 30 years for Lufthansa, doing aircraft maintenance work, and somehow ended up in Florida. And we were fortunate enough, to say the least, to have him join the team here with Landside. Quickly became a lead, and then 2 years ago we created a parking specialist position. And parking specialist might sound simple, however, it is very involved and critical. Stefan is very skilled with keeping our equipment working at an optimal operational, need. And he's very mindful with the revenue collection, and he's just an exemplary employee. Also, when we created the new parking rewards program, he was instrumental in that, creating, implementing it. Now, over the last 10 months, he works with all the customers to make sure they get reimbursed, and it was actually a seamless transition from, when we got rid of our monthly and annual and went to the rewards program. It's working out nicely because of Stefan. So thank you for your service to the airport, and I appreciate it.
Okay, moving on, agenda item number 8, consent agenda. Does anyone have anything they would like to be removed from the consent agenda for further discussion?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second that motion.
The chair has a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Well, motion carried unanimously. Okay. Secretary's report, Secretary Treasurer's report, Mrs. Coppola.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here. Accounts receivable, income statement, balance sheet will be recorded, and I will defer to Mr. Parrish for the information. Thank you.
We'll just go to the overview. Keep in mind September is one of our slow months, so that's why the numbers look a little negative, even though we budget for a loss in that month. We successfully lost money, which we always do. But as the year ended, you'll notice that we pretty much hit our numbers on the year to date. We were a little under on revenue, just slightly over on expenses, but still 3.8 million to the good. We budgeted just a hair over 4 million. So that gets us through September's financials and year-end accounts receivables. Nicole has been working extremely hard on getting everybody paid up. If you look at the last column before the explanation, you'll see that, and the explanations, that a lot of these accounts are now paid in full, or at least partially paid, and we're on a track to get them paid up. New World Trade is one that we're going to, we have worked out a termination of their lease at their request, and we're going to work on their past due rents with their security deposits, and then write the rest off. And we are signing a new lease for that building today, hopefully. Is that the balance sheet? Looks good. We're obviously adding things to the bottom line every day as we finish projects up, as we put new buildings or old buildings back together. We're reappraising them, so you're going to continue to see the balance sheet increase in value, but no major changes. So any questions? Doing very good. So, and this is year end. On the consent agenda, we have 90 days to 60 days? 60 days to reconcile all of our accounts and then do a reconciliation and a resolution for the year-end budget, and that's what we just finished. But that's a lot of work, and Heather's been out a little, so with some personal issues, and we hope things are going okay. I know it's tough, and we'll get everything. We're starting our audit next month, so
That's fun.
yeah. Anything else?
Okay, moving on to the item 10, liaison reports. I'll start off with the Punta Gorda City Council. I did mention earlier that Bill Dryberg was appointed vice mayor at the meeting yesterday, and they also administered the oath of office for their new city councilman, Debbie Lux, who had obviously a tremendous following with the citizens and had a landslide vote. So she'll be the new partner with us over at the city of Punta Gorda. Board of County Commissioners, Mr. Andrews.
I have nothing to report. I will say that we have Commissioner Deutsch here. The airport, there was a Veterans Day parade, and the airport did participate. We had a trailer, and several of us attended. It was very well. I thought the turnout was pretty darn good. So, would you like to add anything, Commissioner Deutsch?
2 minutes.
Morning. Just two items that are of great public interest to bring you up to date on both of them. The first is everyone's concerned about the cultural center. And we were working on the cultural center, and we got hit with a hurricane. We did have a consultant do it, but we went back to our original plan, which is pretty much unfortunately puts us about 2 years back. But we're going out to the community. We're trying to solicit ideas, get feedback, get input, get their thoughts and ideas. The reality is the building is in terrible condition. I remember first going there in the 60s, and it was sort of built like people used to do. They used to do the Cape Cod houses up in New England. You'd get this, then they'd add here, then they'd add, but and that's sort of what happened. There were like, I don't know, 10 or 11 different air conditioning systems. Most of the building has to come down. I think we're hoping to save the library and perhaps part of, if not all of, where the theater was, even though that was flooded. On another hand, we made the decision to go ahead because the bones are good. It was originally built as a supermarket, but the main library on Forest Nolson in the middle of Port Charlotte was also pretty much devastated by the hurricane. We looked into options of having other temporary places. We're actively using the library at over at Easy Street, where the old center used to be, and we're pushing ahead on that. Excuse me. We're looking at hopefully. We're trying to be aggressive on the library. I'm hopeful in less than 2 years that'll be up and running. Thank you, I'm sorry. And the library is one of the most popular things in the county, so we're working hard on that. Thank you much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, community, Mrs. Coppola, anything to add?
Oh, okay. One thing I'd like to add is I took an Allegiant airline trip to a wedding, family wedding in Colorado, and it was phenomenal, both coming and going. The airline is just terrific. If anybody hasn't taken a trip on one of these airlines, you're missing something. They really were. Just happy Thanksgiving, pray for peace in the world, and celebrate the good in your life.
Okay, thank you. State legislation, Mrs. Oliver.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. We, next week is our legislative delegation meeting. I know that the airport has already submitted our appropriations request to our representatives, and we'll be presenting before the delegation, and that is Monday, November the 20th at the Isles Association, or sorry, Civic Center, right?
Yes.
Thank you. Anything to add, Mr. Ferris?
I will just mention that I was in Tallahassee, left right after the air show, spent 3 days up there talking to legislators, wandering the halls, talking to the governor's office about our request, as well as other airport matters. Things are a little quieter this year so far, but we shall see as things pick up. We're still concerned about PFAS legislation, as well as the TNCs and the aviation fuel tax. So we're going to stay on top of that. Chad is on the board of FACT this year, so he is involved in it every day, except for today where he is in Sonoma trying to get more airlines, which is a trip I think we all should have taken. He's taking pictures of vineyards there. It's actually in a vineyard, so I don't know how he got that trip.
Okay. Done?
I am done.
Okay. We have Mr. Hackett standing in for our Mr. Carr, who's out of the country. You have anything to report from your offices?
I think we're okay. I'm pleased to be here on behalf of our law firm and Darryl Carr, and anything you all need, just call on me. Thank you.
Okay. Moving on, CEO's report. We'll start off with development update.
As we continue working through the master plan and other projects that have come along, development update hasn't changed significantly from the previous months. We're still finalizing the PFC application. I think we're close to the end of that, or that's already been approved. Yeah, we're waiting on FAA to approve the final thing. We have gotten all the information from the airlines and us off to the FAA on a new ARF truck. Our ARF 71 is 15 years old, and they last somewhere between 10 and 15 years. So we've sent them all the repair records as well as the requirements that we run 2 trucks with the new 737 Maxes that Allegiant's going to be flying in here. So I think we're well on our way to get that get purchased. Right now, they're running 18 to 24 months, so we've got to get that started as soon as possible. Because of some changes to the state's water quality standards, we're going to update our master drainage plan. So that has been out for solicitations, and we're going to be negotiating with the firm that was at the top of that. It's a firm that we've used many times before. They are one of the state's preeminent airport drainage firms out there. I tell you, I worked for them when I got out of college, so they're really good. They're not as good as they were when I left. But ALP update, I think we finally got it approved, and it's hanging on the wall back there. We got a new giant one made. Just shows all the things we've done since the ALP was produced, as well as the north side infrastructure that we're currently working on. The new FBO hangar is still on hold. Golf course, we are finalizing some design criteria and the design of that, as well as the intersection at Challenger and Piper. CTC, we're moving forward with the design, hoping that we can get some more state money to finish out the construction. The perimeter road is underway. North side infrastructure, I think it's pretty much, it's almost done with the design. We're waiting on funding for that. Taxiway Alpha and Charlie, we've been working with the FAA on the Charlie 1533 Delta intersection. I think we finally have a resolution. We're going to realign it, but still direct connect it, and then we will do basically a bypass taxiway there in the future. That's a requirement of the FAA. We're just going to do it in 2 phases, as well as, because of the costs, there may be funding it in 2 years. So we're going to be bidding Charlie first, Alpha next, and then we will get them under construction. Fuel Farm Security Road, that is being redesigned because of some conflicts with some drainage. There were some larger pipes under the ground that were almost impossible to see, and we're gonna spend more than the road itself on drainage improvements, so we're just moving it around to the other side of that pond. The commercial terminal, hopefully today, we'll sign contracts with DeAngelis Diamond and AECom to get that underway. Inline baggage is in pre-construction phases. They are meeting regularly. That should start construction in January, and I think we'll be tearing down the old restaurant first thing. So it'll be, it's been around for a long time. If anyone was here in the late 60s, early 70s, that was the terminal. There is a bag belt in the kitchen. So it's
I remember.
New taxiway Gulf is still under construction. If you were here from the air show, you saw a guy running up and down it with a water truck because it's been really dry until yesterday and it was a little dusty. 606 and 607 are finalizing. I think 606 is done and we've started moving people in 607 shortly or not.
Moving in now.
They're moving in now. So airfield lighting control, us and about 10 other airports are still waiting on parts, and that should be installed as soon as they get here. Self-serve at the 200 series is on order. We hope that January, February?
End of January.
End of January. And we are going, we're under construction on the replacement for 207. If you're out there, you'll see they've started moving dirt, and that'll start hopefully going vertical first of the year. Any questions on the development? It's a lot.
Yeah, it's got a big price tag on it, though.
It's a lot of money. We've been very successful with grants from the trust fund, both the state and the federal trust funds for aviation that's paid for out of ticket taxes and fuel taxes. So we're all competing for them. Every airport in the nation. And so, that's one of the things that's the reason we're in Washington and Tallahassee as much as we are.
Okay. Marketing update.
Good morning, Commissioners. Been a busy month from October, November, December, as you all mentioned, activities in the community. Coming up December 5th, we're going to do a United Way campaign kickoff, chili cook-off. Cook-off. So look for your invitations in email for that. And I will also be inviting all our employees and tenants, and the public is welcome to come as well. I'll put something online about that. The Christmas parade's coming up December 9th. All the commissioners are invited to participate in that. As well as a couple exciting pieces of news from Allegiant. Today is their first Bangor, Maine inaugural flight. The first flight out is in the air. Now they fly there. Sorry, you missed it by a couple months, unfortunately. And the flight is coming in at 5:43 p.m. Fingers crossed all the timing is right. And Curtis the Hawk will meet our new visitors as they arrive. And we'll have some freebies for them in the terminal this afternoon. Other good news, Allegiant announced a new flight to Dulles, the airport in Washington, D.C., which is very exciting. So the first flight will be May 16th, and I'm not sure if it's seasonal or year-round yet.
They indicated it was year-round, so.
That will be great. So you can start booking those flights as well for your Washington, D.C. trip. And finally, the air show was a good opportunity for us to introduce Curtis the Hawk to our friends and neighbors and community. And we have the plush collectible limited edition toys that are now available at the Air Center, and they'll be at the junction for passengers to purchase as well in the next couple weeks. So we're excited about all that. Any questions? Okay.
No, anybody, the Blue Angels just takes your breath away when you see them fly. They're absolutely unbelievable. They are super people.
The Thunderbirds were amazing.
Yeah.
I think it's important to note the Allegiant announcement to Dulles. That puts our regional area nonstop service to Washington, D.C. And that puts us in contact with all the governmental agencies, our elected officials. But what's really would be interesting for our folks, I think, is the tourism and the vacation opportunities that D.C. has to offer. And vice versa, all those folks coming down to Southwest Florida. I think it's an interesting expansion of their business model, and it's a good deal, I think, for us. I think we
Yeah,
should.
Mr. Parrish noted that the honor flight will be a lot more logistically simple at this point.
Okay. Aviation report. Raymond?
Good morning, Commissioners. We'll start with total operations. October was a really good month overall. Operations were up almost 4,000 over 2022, and that was mainly because of GA traffic and the really good weather we had for that month. So those were up quite a bit. Passenger traffic was also the best October that we've ever had. 142,000 and change for passenger traffic in October, which is really great for us. Avgas gallons sold off the truck was down, but you'll see on the next slide that self-serve is way up. So total gallons between self-serve and the truck is right on par with where we were in 2021. Jet A gallons sold, you'll notice a dip there, and speaking with Darren Webb, the general manager of the Air Center, we looked at 21, that was an air show year, and the air show was in October, and then 22, we had all the traffic after the hurricane, so that is the reason for those months being higher than usual, and this year we saw what would be a normal October for Jet A gallons sold. And then finally, airline gallons pumped. Obviously, with the increase in traffic, we had a really good month with the airlines gallon pumped, just over 1 million with that. Thank you.
Okay. Any old business?
None.
Anybody have any old business in board members? Okay. Moving on, under new business, CEO's annual review.
My favorite
Time of year.
time of year.
Well, I will report that Mr. Parrish did receive, what was the average? Oh, I should look that up, shouldn't I? 5-point scale, he got 4.67. 4.6 to 5 is considered an excellent performance. And he's done a great job this last year. We did look at, and he did receive a 2.75% increase by his employment contract at his annual anniversary date. Any commissioners like to expound on his service?
Mr. Parrish is doing a wonderful job, and we're really happy to have you. So thank you so much for a great year.
Yeah. With so many other airports having problems, wow, we're doing great. We really are. Thank you.
Well, I'll make it. Well, just looking back at everything that the airport has been through, even since I've been here, and where we're at today, and the solid ground we're on today, is a definite reflection of Mr. Parrish. So.
And the good reputation we have now, too. Excellent. Yeah.
Thank you for your continued support.
Are you happy?
I'm always happy.
Good answer.
You just can't tell by my face.
Good answer. Okay. Under item 14, it's that time of year. That's November, and we have the election of officers. I will pass the gavel to our attorney.
Have him. Now we know what he listens to.
Yeah, he's not listening to the board meeting. Turn his hearing aid off. No.
Caught, hoisted by your own petard.
Okay, Mr. Hackett, would you please conduct the election of officers?
I certainly will. With that, thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I will be conducting the election of the officers. The officers to be elected are the chair, the vice chair, the secretary treasurer, and the assistant secretary treasurer in that order. I'll be looking for a nomination as we go through that order, a second to that nomination, discussion on the merits, and then the vote. With that, I declare that the nominations for the chair of the Charlotte County Airport Authority is open.
Mr. Hackett, if I might make a nomination for chair, I would like to nominate Paul Andrews.
Second.
There's a nomination of Paul Andrews that's been made and seconded. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? I declare the nominations to be closed and would request a vote to have Paul Andrews as your new chair be unanimous. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. It is unanimous. Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
The nominations for the position of vice chair are now open. Is there any nominations?
We have no vice chair.
The nominations for the position of vice chair is now open. Are there any nominations?
To nominate Vanessa Oliver, Commissioner Oliver.
We have a nomination for Commissioner Oliver as the vice chair. Is there a second to that
Second.
nomination? There's a motion and a second for Ms. Oliver. Is there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, I declare the nomination be closed and would request a vote that Commissioner Oliver be elected unanimously as vice chair of the Airport Authority. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay.
No.
Okay. Then there's that the unanimous motion fails, so we will have a vote on the motion. Any discussion on the motion? The motion or the nomination is for
Failed.
Ms. Oliver.
It failed because,
Because I asked for a
Anonymous,
nomination
okay,
or the
right.
election by unanimous consent.
And
That's what failed. So that did not happen, so hearing no further discussion on the nomination.
so we have to nominate someone
No,
else?
no, we don't.
Oh.
I'm going to ask for a vote on the nomination now without the unanimity that was requested before. So all in favor of the nomination of Ms. Oliver as the vice chair of the Airport Authority, raise your hand, please. There's three. All opposed, raise your hand. 3-1. Ms. Oliver becomes the vice chair on a vote of 3-1. The nominations are open for the position of Secretary Treasurer. Is there a nomination for the position of Secretary Treasurer?
I nominate Commissioner Coppola, please.
And I'll second.
There is a nomination of Commissioner Coppola and a second of Commissioner Coppola. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, the nominations are closed. I'll now again ask for a vote on unanimous consent for the nomination of Ms. Coppola for the position of Secretary Treasurer. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion carries. Ms. Coppola is unanimously elected as the Secretary Treasurer. The nominations are now open for the position of Assistant Secretary Treasurer. Are there any nominations?
Mr. Hansick? Commissioner Hansick?
There's a nomination for Commissioner Hansick for Assistant Secretary Treasurer. Is there a second to that nomination?
Second.
So, second. Just doing the math, I don't think there can be any other nominations. So I declare the nomination to be closed. Again, we request unanimous consent to that particular nomination of Commissioner Hansick as the Assistant Secretary Treasurer. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed say nay. The motion passes, and Commissioner Hansick is now the Assistant Secretary Treasurer. I believe that that's the end of my duties here. And
Pass the gavel
back
to the new
over
chair.
to the new chair, Mr. Anderson.
Congratulations.
I'll just stay here. Okay, the election's complete. Now we move on to rates and charges.
As the board may remember, we try and do this once a year, update all our rates and charges. We've looked at surrounding airports, and you have the marked up documents in front of you. Just some highlights. We're reducing our, well, I could go through what it says here, reducing our full serve margin on avgas from $1.60 to $1.20. We are raising our contract fuel margins to align with the other airports in the area. We're adjusting our ramp fees and minimum fuel purchase requirements. The big impetus for this was to add ground support rates. We didn't have that because we didn't have any ground support equipment. We do now, and we need to have a way to charge for the use of it, both for commercial traffic coming into the terminal as well as what we're expecting to have a little more traffic coming into the FBO that would require larger when we're getting charters coming in. So we're seeing more and more requests for that, so we'll have the ground support equipment to do that. No changes in the 60 by 60 hangar rates, no changes, and we eliminated our 4 month tie down rate and changed some classes. Updated our land rates for the annual appraisal, and parking is probably the biggest change. We're going to 40 minutes free, and we are also increasing the hourly rate in short term. The daily rate stays the same, so if you're staying there overnight, it's no more, but we're trying to keep people out of short term as much as possible so that we can keep it open for the uses. And without a restaurant there, 40 minutes is still high. Most airports are 20 or 30, but we figure we'll work it down over the years. Those are the main changes to it. Any discussion or anything?
Mr. Chair, thank you. Mr. Parrish, so we lowered the rates for the fuel margin. Are we expected that to be offset by these other charges?
We're hoping that, avgas is not a big seller, so we're hoping that, we will see more use of the trucks. The fact is, the trucks cost so much money to own and maintain that we'd like to get more people using it. So if there's a little less delta between our self-serve rates and our truck rates, maybe more people use the truck. We'll get more use out of the trucks and hopefully make the cost come closer in line.
And you said that makes us more competitive.
And it does make us more competitive. Our fuel prices are very competitive when you look at self-serve, but some of the other airports do full service less.
Okay.
Any further questions? If not, entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the new rates and charges as provided to us commencing December 15th, 2023.
Second.
We have a first and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Next item on the agenda is the DeAngelis Diamond Design Build Contract for terminal expansion. Turn it over to Mr. Parrish.
So you guys recall months ago, we selected the team of DeAngelis Diamond and AECom to design and build the expansion of the Bailey Terminal. We are currently in the queue for requesting some of the money from the bipartisan infrastructure law that was dedicated towards terminal development. We're in year 3 of 5. Hopefully we will be successful, but with that we have to be ready to build it when that money comes. So Attorney Carr and Brett and DeAngelis Diamond and their attorneys have been working for the last 2 months on a contract that we could all agree to. I think we finally got there. It is a $3.25967 million contract to design the building, and then that will move into a construction phase. We'll negotiate that price and then bring back basically a change order to the contract for the construction. This is funded by the construction, by bill, ATP money, FDOT, and PFC. And then there is some insurance money in there as well. That is it for me.
That is it. Any questions?
To get all that
Well, we got-
approval, they
Need a
really like
motion
us.
first.
Okay. I need a motion on the DeAngelis Diamond build design contract.
Mr.
Terminal
Chair.
expansion.
I'd like to make a motion that the board approve allowing the CEO to execute this contract with DeAngelis Diamond Construction LLC in the amount of $3,254,967.00.
Second?
First and a second. Any further discussion?
Mr. Chairman, is there anyone here from the design team? No, I didn't see you. Okay, just want to make sure we had a representative here.
Okay. Okay, without any further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Now we move on to the DeAngelis Diamond change order for terminal expansion.
So, this may sound strange that we're
Yes.
issuing a change order the second we issue their contract, but this is for an additional design that wasn't included in the original contract. It's been determined that the rental car center cannot be rebuilt, refurbished due to damage from Hurricane Ian. So we are going to relocate, since we can operate out of it, we don't want to tear it down and rebuild it in the same location, because then we'd have to put trailers and it would be a logistical nightmare. We're going to design it as a phase of the terminal. It will be basically in the parking lot where the ready lot is now. As you can see out there, if you drive by, we're already changing some things around for return and ready. That'll happen as soon as we get under construction. But this is a contract funded by FDOT and insurance. The majority of it is insurance money for the design and construction of the new rental car center. It will also house storage for Faber, who runs our concessions, and our staff, and TSA offices, basically everything that was happening inside the old rental car center.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
Mr. Chair, I move that the board approve allowing the CEO to execute contract amendment 01 with DeAngelis Diamond Construction LLC in the amount of $598,637.
Second?
Second?
I have a first and a second. Any further discussion?
Any estimate on the replacement cost?
$6 million?
Could that be paid for from?
The majority of it's going to be insurance funds.
Okay, that's it. Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Next on the agenda is the non-aeronautical lease agreement with Allegiant Airplanes. Let's see, for the premises of the Punta Gorda Airport. Mr. Parrish.
So Allegiant is currently talking to us about 3 or 4 things, but one of the things they desperately needed was a large space. The hangar that they're leasing is maxed out. They were looking at going into the industrial park and leasing 10,000 square feet down there, but the logistics of getting everything back and forth, we were worried about the traffic, multiple trucks, and right at the time where people are coming, they would be bringing all their commissary and their maintenance and stuff in. So We had a tenant that was on a month-to-month. He was talking to us about leaving. He was trying to sell his business, and so he did contact us and decide that he was going to move out. He had a subtenant that we're currently working with, relocating to another location on the airport, and Allegiant will be leasing this building for a few years and then going month to month. The building sits in an expansion area for our long-term parking that we would like to do at some point. But right now, this is a pretty good use for the building. They're paying fair market value for it, so I would request the board to authorize the chair to sign that lease with Allegiant. Allegiant has signed the lease. I don't think the signed lease was in your packet because they just signed it this week.
Mr. Chair, I move that the board authorize you, Mr. Chair, to execute the lease agreement with Allegiant Airlines.
First, do I have a second?
Second.
First and second. Any further discussion?
Mr. Parrish, if I might, do we have long-term plans for what to do with Allegiant after those first few years?
So Allegiant is also talking to us about leasing about 5 acres on the south ramp to build a 40,000 square foot maintenance and operations center, similar to what they have at Pi, as well as leaving some land available for a large hangar in the future.
Okay.
So we're excited about that. That's depicted on the map over there, what we thought it would work, so if anyone wants to look at it.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, and I did read the lease, you know. I did read the lease.
Oh, you did read
Yeah,
the lease? Do you have any other questions on it?
No, that's fine.
Okay. No further discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, there is none. Motion carries unanimously. Now we're on to the public comments. Anyone wishing to address the board during this portion should state their name for the record. Each citizen is allowed up to 2 minutes to express their opinion. We have one.
Hi, good morning. My name is Tony Smith. I'm here on the capacity as a board member for the Florida International Air Show. I'd just like to express my appreciation of our teamwork and our lease with you, and staff have been really great in working with us. We really appreciate the relationship we have with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tony.
Any more public comments? Guess we move on to commissioners' comments. I'll start with Ms. Coppola.
Thank you all for being here today and your interest in the airport. The air show just takes your breath away. It absolutely takes your breath away. If you have never been to one of these air shows and seen the phenomenal aerobatics in the air, it's something you will always remember, and like I say, it just takes your breath away. I guess that's all I have to say. Just, we'll see you next month. Doing good.
If I could interject, you won't see us next month because we don't have a December meeting. So you'll see us in January.
Oh,
Mr. Hanson.
well, thanks
Yes,
for telling me.
I have a couple of things. One, I'd like to notice everyone that there are going to be 3 airport authority seats up for election in 2024. District 1, Commissioner Oliver's seat, District 3, Commissioner Andrews' seat, and District 5, which is currently vacant. More than likely, the outcome will be determined in the August 2024 primary. So if you are interested in running for an elective office, the August primary is only 9 months away. So if you're interested in running for the airport authority, and there are going to be other elected positions up, you need to kind of get your name in the hat. Also, I'd like to take this opportunity as an authority member and personally to thank Mr. Hurston for his 15 years of service to the citizens of Charlotte County and the Airport Authority, and his expertise as our representative on the Charlotte County Metropolitan Planning Organization. Thank you.
Thank you.
I concur with those comments. Thank you.
Yeah. Commissioner Oliver?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Congratulations to the Florida International Air Show group. You guys put on such an amazing show. I think everybody in the community had such a great time. So thank you. I know you guys worked tirelessly to put on that event, and it was such a success. And just thank you for doing it for the citizens of this entire community. It's excellent. And thank you to Commissioner Deutsch. Veterans Day Parade was really successful. Such a great outpouring. Thank you to Curtis for coming out, wherever he might be. But it was such a great turnout and so wonderful to see all the veterans out and to have the opportunity to thank them all for their service. So thank you.
All the kids that were in the parade and watched it.
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Thank you. And I would also like to thank Commissioner Hansick for your 2 years of service as our chair. You did a wonderful job, and we appreciate your service. Thank you. Y'all have happy holidays.
I'm up. Well, first of all, thank you all for supporting me. As you know, this is my last year on the board, and yeah, I'm going to be retiring. I'd like to thank Commissioner Hansick for his service to this board and his input and his expertise that he's brought. And having said, the air show, I've been to a fair amount of air shows in my life, but this one really brought a lot of talent together. I had some friends out here, and they were just amazed. So it was a great air show. I really enjoyed it. And finally, I'd like to thank everyone for being here, and a happy Thanksgiving. And with that, the meeting is adjourned.